looks like we got a busy little bumblebee doing some pollinating and harvesting some nectar from what we have here is Trifolium pretense, which is red clover. And this is what the plant looks like when it goes to flower. And the petals at the base of these plants, of this flower head, have sweet nectar at the bottom. Growing up, I used to pick these and chew on them all the time. And you can see the leaves here they're more elongated and they're really pretty. I'm trying to move out of the way on the shadow. It's not in the way, but very pretty flower leaves here with chevron shape, more oval shaped. And then next to it we have white clover, which is here, and this is Trifolium repens, I believe. And the if we look at the flower, there's the flower here for white clover, and then this is the flower and the stem next to the red clover. And the red clover is here. This is the white clover. You can see the difference. Okay. And this is a very pretty plant, very edible. The leaves are used medicinally, as well as the flower heads are used in salads. And you can kind of see all of them. They're in bloom now. And this is late spring, mid to late spring, going on early summer. It's hot today. And you can see all these red clovers mixed in with white clovers. And this is a good opportunity to kind of show you the two side by side. So I'm going to grab one here. But yeah, we've got the wet red and the white clovers. Alright, this is Articum lapa, or burdock. It's a second-year plant. It's going to go to flower soon. It looks like it's almost 5 feet tall. And that's the center stalk right here. And yeah, it's a pretty big plant here. So I imagine this root is probably just as long, if not twice as long. The root is edible. The leaf stalks are edible as well, but generally for the first year low-lying plant. So this is kind of how big burdock will get. This is what it looks like. It's a pretty big plant there, and there's a smaller plant down there, and then here's another plant here. This is a big, majestic-looking burdock plant, otherwise known as cobalt. The root part of this plant is edible. It doesn't taste too bad raw. But in a survival situation, if you can get at the root, if you can dig it up, you just kind of throw it broil it on the fire or on the coals and chew on it from there. It's not bad. It's a nice, I don't know. It's an earthy, pleasant kind of corn-ish kind of taste. I like it. It's a very good plant. So that's what burdock looks like. And then we have over here, we have, there's some litter down here. I'm going to get rid of that. What we have here is Rumex crispus, or yellow dock, that has gone to flower. And this is the flower head here of Rumex crispus, or yellow dock. And you can see these plants really look nothing alike. You know, if I take a small leaf here and put it next to the burdock, I mean, you know, there's no, you can't hardly mistake one for the other. Okay, the yellow dock is more longer, slender, and more narrower. It's slightly faded from a rich green on top, on the bottom here, but then the burdock is really frosty on the bottom. So that's really how you can tell. So we have a yellow dock stalk that looks like it's fully grown, and it's about to go to flower. It's flowered, may go to seed, and the leaves are edible. As a spinach substitute, the roots are medicinal, And I believe the seeds can be harvested here, little seed pods here, can be harvested and used, although I have never done it. Don't quote me on that. But this is a very useful and edible medicinal plant. Both, actually. Burdock has medicinal properties as well, especially for men. The root is good for, the understanding is for virility as well as testosterone levels. For hair and nails, it's good for both genders. So both plants are edible and both plants are medicinal. And burdock has burrs that can be used as a emergency Velcro. Right now, this looks like we've got some dogbane coming up. And dogbane looks very similar to milkweed. And at its younger stages, if you're not really well versed and knowing the difference between the two, it can be dangerous because dogbane is toxic to eat, and milkweed is edible, especially the young shoots. But this is dogbane here. This is Iposanum cannabinum, I believe. And you can see one differentiation is that it splits off. And right now it's in its flower stage, but the stalk splits off as it starts to flower. Now, what's awesome about dogbane is that it's not an edible plant because it's toxic. However, in the fall, these stalks here this plant will go dormant or will die off after it goes to seed, and the inner fibers in the stalk yield very strong cordage. The other term for this is Indian hemp or whatever, but it provides very good quality cordage once you're able to harvest it. So I just wanted to see it. Here's some younger plants here, younger dogbane coming up. Dogbane generally grows in the same area as milkweed, and it likes moist soil. And here I'm off the golf course, and it's been raining a lot, and then there looks like there's a little bit of collection of water here. Again, it's urban setting, but you can see that it's wanting to grow up, and it looks like here the top of this one got munched, and I know that there's an active deer trail here. I wonder if a deer came through and kind of munched on the top of the flower heads. I don't see too many others munched up, and so I suspect it probably didn't like it very much. Anyways, that's just a speculation. But anyways, this is dogbane. And here we have actual milkweed, just as it starts to go to flower. And the difference between dogbane and milkweed, you can see, if you remember, the dogbane had more of a red stalk, kind of thinner. The leaves were much more narrower. These leaves are furrier and more broader. Both have milky sap. So if I was to pinch a leaf off, say the bottom one here, this will eventually start to bleed milky sap, which is essentially latex. And they do have, let's see, what do they call this? Opposing or alternate leafing up the stalk. But this plant is a lot more green, a lot more succulent looking, and a little bit more hairier, more furrier. And then as it starts to go to flower, it does not branch off. The leaves don't branch off into separate branches. So this would be milkweed. There's another plant over here, looks like a big plant that was kind of blown over by the wind. It's windy out here, but this is another plant, and it's turning because it's trying to grow back to the sun. And so hopefully by moving it, it probably will help it straighten out a bit. But again, nature will do its thing. So anyways, this is milkweed, Asclepias syriacus.